Smiling faces, the family way. Margaret Lewin Quilting will make your day.
Hi, I'm Margaret Lewin, and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. I'm so excited about these packages. You should have gotten one in the mail if you are part of our 2019 Friendship Quilt swap. And I'm going to open the package for you now so that you can see what should be included in your package. So I'm just going to take this and just slit one end open. I'm going to pull everything out, and then we're going to walk through the instructions together. Okay, so that's my bag, and inside of here is a ruler and my fabrics, and also there's a little letter to everybody who's participating in the swap. I'm going to start by first removing everything that's in my package, and I've brought out a Sharpie, and I am going to label my bag first. So I'm going to open up my bag and just slide it out and slide out all the contents, and I'm going to set those aside for a minute. Then I'm going to take my bag and I'm going to write my name, my address. Now that I've done that, I can set that aside, and now I can concentrate on my swap. This is really important because you're going to be sending this bag back to me, and I want to make certain that no one's swap blocks get mixed up. So make sure that the very first thing you do is write on your bag who you are and your address. Okay, this is my 3.5-inch ruler that we're going to be using to square up our blocks, but we don't need to worry about squaring up right now. So I'm going to set that aside with my bag. The next thing that I have is my list of all the participants, and I'm not going to show this on camera to protect people's privacy. But inside your bags there is a list of all of the participants. The participants are also receiving a coupon for their long arm quilting, and I'll set that aside. And then here comes our pattern. That's the next thing, and this is what I'm really excited about. The pattern is written as if you're making the entire quilt at once. It's not written as if we're swapping it. So what you're going to want to do is read through your pattern, but then you're going to want to follow the instructions in this video on how to do everything. So I'm going to take my 3 colored or dark gray prints, and here are my 2 background prints. I'm going to set my 2 background prints aside because I'm not going to be using those for a while, but I am going to concentrate on these 3. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these over to my pressing table, and I'm going to press them. Once I have pressed them, then I'm going to figure out what colors I want to swap this month. So I'm going to then go over to my stash, and I'm going to start pulling out some fabrics. So I'm going to go press this, and I'm going to go pull some fabrics out. I'll be right back as soon as I've done that. All right, once you have pressed your fat quarters, then you can start cutting. And you can see here I have 2 piles. My first pile is my background fabrics that came in the kits, and I have a total of 7 prints here. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, correct. Then I went into my stash because I thought, why not use this as a way to get rid of some of my stash? So what I did was I picked some fabrics that I had in there, and I cut those into 1 3/4 inch strips. So I have 2 piles. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine, and I am going to put these together, right sides together, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 of an inch seam on all of them. Once I've sewn the 1/4 inch seam, then I'm going to take them over to the pressing table and I'm going to press them all. I'm going to set my seam first, then I'm going to press them with the fabric going towards the colored fabric that I've added. So again, once you get your packet open, the next thing you're going to do is pull out your 3 dark fat quarters. Press those. Then once you've pressed those, cut them into 1 3/4 inch strips and then add 1 3/4 inch strips from your stash. Now I've picked bright colorful prints, but you can pick anything that you want to. So I'm going to get these sewn together, I'm going to press them, and then I'll come back and show you exactly what they look like. You will be cutting a total of 8 strips of the dark gray and 8 of your color. And I have pressed them all towards the color that I added. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to start by placing one of them just like this. So what you're going to do is have the color print facing you, the background fabric facing away. Then we're going to just pick up randomly one of the other strips, and what we're going to do is nestle these seams together as best we can. All right? And this, by doing it now, is going to make the process a little bit easier as we go along. So I'm just kind of nestling these up together. Because I'm sitting here and not standing at the cutting table doing this, I am also going to put a couple pins in. Now, if I was doing this over at the cutting table, I wouldn't bother with this step in it. But I have to pick these up and carry these. And I just want to make sure that I keep these together as best as possible till I get over to the cutting table. So there's one. And again, remember, we're going to start with the color that you've added facing down, and I'm just going to randomly select another one. I'm going to butt these together, and look at how nice. See? They just go right together. Really, really nice. I'm going to stick a pin in it. I'll come on down here, and as I come down, I'm just with my fingers going to butt these right up next to each other all the way down. And I can feel this one's a little off, so I'm going to straighten it and put a pin. All right, I'm going to do that to all 8 of these, so I will have a pile of 4. And then I'm going to take them over to my cutting table. When I get them to the cutting table, what I'm going to do is cut them in segments of 1 3/4 inches. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. And you can feel that they've come nicely together or that they have not come nicely together. One more to go, and then I'm going to take them over to my cutting table and I'm going to cut them. And see how random they are? They aren't, I haven't duplicated my colors or my background or my dark gray prints. And that's something that we really want to try to do, because this is a really scrappy print quilt. You can see I did a little fold over there. I'm going to have to correct that before I take it over to the cutting table. So I will go correct that first. Then I'm going to take these to the cutting table and I will cut 1 3/4 inch segments, and then I'll come on back. I've got all of my pieces cut. And the nice thing about how I've gotten them cut is they're all ready to go right through the sewing machine now. So one of the things that's a little important, because it'll make it easier for your pieces to stick together, is I'm going to run this through my sewing machine right this way. And I'm going to do my 1/4 inch seam. And what I want you to realize, I'm going to flip it around so it'll be facing you now, is you're going to stitch, 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 and then you're going to keep right on going. But because you go through this end first, what it's going to do is it's going to push these two fabrics together so that you get a really nice, crisp corner where they meet. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to start sewing my 1/4 inch seam down the side of my cut pieces, and then I'll come back again. I want you to notice how I'm going about sewing this. I want you to notice that I never stop sewing whenever I'm sewing something like this. So you can see my needle is down, and I back here, see, I'm about ready to put another piece through. So what I'm going to do is just sew, and then you right here is, see how the piece is folded so that the fold is going underneath the presser foot first. What that does is that pushes those two pieces of fabric together so that you come out with really nice, crisp points together. So let me grab one for you so you can see the inside of it. See right there? See how I've got such a nice crisp point? Those seams are just nestled right together, but good and tight. Here's another one. And I'm just pulling them from random, so I haven't even checked them. We're not even, we're still connected. I'm still sewing. So I'm going to sew these strips, and then when I'm done sewing these strips, I'll come back and then show you what our next step is. Here I am with all of my 4 patches, and I pulled out my bag that's got my address on it. My next step is to just take my scissors and clip these all apart. I'm going to clip them apart until I have 66 of them. So here I go. I've counted my blocks so that I have a total of 66 of them, and I'll take a couple out of the bag and show you what it is that they look like. So here's one of them. Here's another. And another. As you can see from this video, they're really easy to make. They take maybe 2 hours to do all 66 of them. I really don't think they even take that long. By the time we get done with this swap, you'll be getting them done a lot faster than that. So once you've counted out 66 of them, make sure that your bag has got your name and your address on it so that I can make sure you get credit for your 66 blocks. Once you've done that, you're just going to pop them in the mail to me just as soon as you can. You are going to be following this procedure every single month for the months of April, May, June, July, and August. Your last shipment will be sent to me in August, and on September 1st, I will be sending you your last shipment of swapped plus additional fabric to finish out your quilt. The very last month, you'll be keeping your own blocks. You will not be sending them out again for swapping. So keep that in mind in case there's a fabric that you know you absolutely want in your quilt. Please make sure that you send your 4 patches back as soon as possible. I would like to receive all of them by the 20th of every month. And as always, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me or to ask in our Facebook group. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, and I will see you again very soon with the instructions of what you're going to be doing with your 4 patches once we've swapped them. I'll see you soon. Bye.